We have a lot of exciting things going on for WIP this semester. So tonight is the first WIP of our WIP Double Dip. We're going to have another WIP next weekend. Oh, before I say more about that, Daisy's passing around some chocolates. Don't eat them. You'll be instructed with what to do with them very shortly. So we have WIP tonight, and our readers are Heather Hamilton, Hannah Ensor, and Lewis DeJong. We have another WIP next week. I'll be out of town. I'll be at my cousin's bar mitzvah. But we're going to have a special guest host. It's my roommate, Nancy. You all know her. And, there's something else I want to say. This is an art installation that was done for Trick House Live. And it was done by an artist named Pedro Sorto. And he's a visiting artist from El Salvador here on a Fulbright. So just admire it. And then so we're going to have our final, we have a few more WIPs in between now and our last one, but our last WIP is in Daisy's backyard. And we're taking a poll for some a themed WIP, and we're taking suggestions, and right now the leading theme is WIP prom. So, yeah, we have that to look forward to.
But if anyone has a better suggestion, let us know.
Yeah.
We're open.
Okay, so without further ado, Daisy is going to introduce Heather Hamilton, our first reader tonight. So a round of applause, please.
So at one point last semester, I got to read a big chunk of Heather's work all at once, which is something we don't often get to do in this program, and it was a treat. I read about 4 of her essays all at once, and what I noticed is that by about page 12, I had a serious craving for chocolate. Hence the chocolate. Don't eat it yet, you'll get to eat it when I get to number 4, just so you know. I think that I thought about chocolate because when it's eaten correctly, according to Google and websites of several chocolate companies, not surprisingly, that chocolate is a full body and mind experience. It's sensory, it's sensual, it is like the work of Heather Hamilton. So from Voskos.com, this is how to eat an exotic candy bar. Exotic candy bar, not just any candy bar. I couldn't afford exotic candy bars, so you have Hershey's Special Dark. That's where we're going. Number 1, C. Unwrap the chocolate. So, unwrap the chocolate, yeah. It should have a glossy shine. This shows a good temper. Rather, a tight bond between the cocoa butter and the cocoa mass. Heather's writing asks you to see. She brings you into a place, and the place is full of color and texture, and often full of bodies. Ripe bodies, cloaked bodies, bodies in various states of dress, sometimes very hairy bodies. Unlike the chocolate. Number 2, smell. Rub your thumb on the chocolate to help release the aromas. Inhale the chocolate and ingredient notes deeply through your nose. Can you feel it? That's what the website said. Can you feel it? Don't eat yet. Can you feel it? Heather's essays smell. Like cowboy cologne, wet wool, hard work, like church on Sunday, fecundity. 3, snap. This might be hard with the little chunk or nuggets that you got, but snap. Quality chocolate should always be dried to the touch. Break the bar into 2 pieces. Hear a crisp, ringing snap, which indicates a well-tempered bar of chocolate. There are sounds, too, in Heather's work. There's country music at noisy bars. Sometimes in those bars, there's cheering at, say, the National Beard and Mustache Championship. There's also often a lot of silence. That of her own Big Sky, Idaho, but the real music is her spare lyric language, in the dense beauty of what her essays say, and in the quiet of the spaces where she allows us as readers to take the time to think. Number 4, taste. Place the chocolate on your tongue and press it to the roof of your mouth. Within 30 seconds, the chocolate should slowly begin to melt around your tongue. The taste should not be evanescent. It should have a long, lingering finish. In Heather's work, bacon, dumplings, salty, sweaty necks, the tongues of lovers, there are long, lingering finishes. I'm supposed to try to work in the word boner. Heather's work gives me a boner. Number 5, feel. Recognize the life in your body as you ... benefit from the antioxidants in chocolate, ride the natural high. Again, that's a direct quote. Those ellipses actually were on the website. Recognize the life in your body as you ... Heather's essays take place in worlds where people touch a lot, where they grope, caress, lick, kiss, pant, dry hump. There's anticipation. But remarkably, there's a lot of sex not happening. In that way, it teases, it's tantalizing. In the way that eating one piece of chocolate always makes me want more chocolate, reading or listening to Heather's work makes me want more. Heather Hamilton, I think they're ready.
So there's only a little bit of sex happening in these things I'm going to read today. The first is a short piece I did for an imitation in Allison's crafts class. It's an imitation after the hymn to Demeter. I think it's kind of funny, and I don't necessarily know where I'll ever read it again. It's called Rites of Passage. And I remember it because I was a tender 10, the subtle descent into womanhood marked by the purchase of that first bra. My father, too crass for his delicate daughters, deemed the thing an over-the-shoulder boulder holder, and so I was afraid to let it be known that I'd bought that bra in Shopko with my mother. Less afraid was I of the reply of my classmates. I wore a thin white shirt with an anchor centered just below the hollow of my throat, so that they might see the modest straps arched over my shoulders. But afterward, there was no response, and I marveled at the metal buttons of my overalls resting on my chest like brass nipples. But shame yet more monstrous came in the depths of the junior high locker room, the hairless legs of my peers smooth in their trim-ankled socks. And thereafter I stole from my father's top drawer an assortment of alabaster stockings designed to reach my knees. Then, at last, I asked my mother for a razor and some instruction, and she slipped me a narrow pink thing, a tiny blade bound in plastic. I showered and straightway shot my smooth legs, skin against silk, except where I had missed, into the sleeping bags my sisters and I had set up in the backyard. So it was that I was 13 and just beginning high school. It was January and 5 minutes before drama class. In the restroom designated for women, I spied small pools of blood forming in the fabric of my underwear and cheered in my heart, I was woman.